She seems to be a little bit of the Asian. Asians are hard to tell.
And if she's not Asian, what are you guys gonna say? She could be Korean.
Am I assuming?
Addison Rae is not one of the nicest or most saint-like influencers in the world of social media, but she does in fact still have her fans who love her and will greatly defend her even if she is in the wrong. Today we'll be taking a look at all the times that Addison Rae showed everyone who she truly is, which could have ended her career. But before that, a simple reminder on how to enter our brand new giveaway. We're giving away either an iPhone X Max, the new iPad mini, or a MacBook Pro. It's all your choice, but be sure to leave a like, comment the keyword, subscribe, and turn on notifications to enter the giveaway. It's really that simple. First, we have microaggressions with Asians. This is the first and certainly not the last time Addison Rae got huge backlash for being a racist. We all know that racism isn't simply discriminating black people or Asians. It's not just about the blatant acts that we do against another person because of his or her race. There is what we call microaggressions that are in itself a bad thing. Microaggressions are small acts that show racism without actually hurting another person. It can be done unintentionally, which means to say that racism is ingrained upon the person committing the act. Now that's exactly what Addison Rae did during a video with Nick Bean and Addison Rae's ex-boyfriend Bryce Hall. In the video, Nick actually invited the formal couple to take part in his game called Guess Her Age Challenge. For the game, Nick, Addison, and Bryce would take turns guessing the age of a TikToker who sent their videos to Nick. This sounds like an easy game at first, but then Nick gave them a hard question, a video of an obviously Asian TikToker. Now, this was pretty easy for Nick and Bryce to determine that the dancing girl was Asian. Nick was also the one to point out that if it were true, then it would be much more challenging for them to guess the age of the girl, since Asians do have a reputation for looking much younger than their actual age. Nick says she could be 13 or 35. While he was off the mark, Addison thought it was best to play along. Though I'm not quite sure if she was joking when she said something along the lines of, "How can you be sure she's Asian? For all we know, she could be Korean or something." Even Bryce, who was Addison's boyfriend at the time, was so dumbfounded when he heard what came out of Addison's mouth. She could just be kidding or playing along with their banter, but if she wasn't, then from the video itself it's clear that Addison Rae should have been canceled for a longer period of time. If you still want to know the answer to that challenge, let me tell you, she was just 15 years old, but we're not sure what her nationality is. Next is the time Addison asked her friend to say the N-word. Another reason why Addison is getting called out for being a racist is because she's being accused of saying the N-word. How did this happen? Well, people like to reshare things online, especially about stars on social media. So one video of Addison Rae and fellow TikToker and Hype House member Keo Sear resurfaced online. This video was the source of anguish for a lot of Addison Rae fans. In the Instagram live video, we can see Addison covering her mouth and whispering something to Keo's ear, which a lot of fans assume to be something along the lines of, "Say the N-word," to which Keo replies with a resounding no. Then Addison, clearly taken aback by her friend's strong response, says she's just kidding. But then Keo also said he does not want to be the new Melanin King. And Addison replied again saying, "You're lucky your live just froze when you said it." So here are the facts. Addison whispered something appalling to Keo that made him say no so loudly. And the next that it had something to do with blacks, since Keo also mentions that he didn't want to be the next Melanin King. This term is commonly used to only refer to white people being exposed as racist or someone who uses racial slurs. The thing is, we're not sure if Addison Rae actually instructed Keo to say the N-word, or if she was simply confirming whether or not Keo already said this before. That's the big debate today in terms of Addison being a racist. Here's one thing we know so far. Keo already responded to the issue and said that Addison actually asked him if he said the N-word. But honestly, we have to take that response with a grain of salt. Keo and Addison are clearly good friends, so there's nothing stopping him from defending his friend. If Addison actually just asked Keo if he said the N-word, why does her mother Sherry have to be the one to dismiss the rumor with her cryptic tweets? If she did nothing wrong, why isn't she doing anything to clear her name? Come on, Addison, speak up already. Next is when Addison shared a video saying Black Lives Matter is a cult on Twitter. The next one is something that Addison can no longer deny. This seals the deal for a lot of Addison haters because it's just too much. Back in July 9, 2016, young Addison shared a video on Twitter which was actually a rant of a black woman who actually called the Black Lives Matter movement a cult. The girl said that all lives matter and that most of the killings of black people are not actually committed by cops but by black people themselves. This is very problematic now that the BLM movement is once again making headlines. But some Addison fans are quick to point out that during this time, Addison Rae was just 15 years old. She was too young to be knowing what she did, and she wasn't even famous back then. However, despite this fact, some haters just go on disliking Addison for this because, like the earlier instances, Addison did not acknowledge the issue and instead chose to ignore what's going on. Besides, fast forward 4 years later, Addison Rae has been seen supporting the movement by going to protests. But is that really enough to actually say that you support the movement, especially if you do? Next is the time Addison was quoting Martin Luther King Jr. in a mirror selfie. This one happened quite recently. A lot of people are canceling Addison Rae after she used something Martin Luther King Jr. said for a caption to one of her mirror selfies. The quote was, "Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. MLK Jr." It sounds so chill and so easily said, but if you think about it, why would you use that quote for something so trivial like another photo of yourself? That's why a lot of people are calling her out for just joining the bandwagon of the Black Lives Movement and not really understanding what the black people are fighting for. Fortunately enough, Addison Rae exercised better judgment when she decided to delete the caption to her photo, and unlike the rest of her transgressions in this video, the popular TikTok star actually apologized to everyone for using the quote so lightly. I mean, no one has the exclusive rights to such quotes, but that doesn't mean you should just be using these words for superficial things and for the attention, right? What about recently with Addison Rae being called out for blackfishing? To add the final nail to the coffin, Addison Rae is now seriously under fire for blackfishing or putting on a blackface. A lot of other celebrities like Ariana Grande and the Kardashians and even Hailey Baldwin Bieber also faced a lot of hate for being too tanned. So I cannot understand how Addison Rae thought she could pull this off without having to face the wrath of people online. If you haven't seen it by now, Addison is currently trending after she shared a Snapchat video showing her getting prepped and ready for a photo shoot. The problem is she is getting too tanned, which prompts people to believe that she is indeed blackfishing. Blackfishing is a term for influencers using makeup to make them look like black people. In this now deleted Snapchat video, Addison Rae did look a lot darker than normal. But some of her fans were quick to defend the 19-year-old internet star, saying the reason she was so dark was because of a certain Snapchat filter. Another online user debunked this theory by posting a photo of herself using the filter and another without a filter. This proves that Addison intentionally made herself that tan. After seeing the videos, some people quickly launched into an all-out rant against Addison Rae, saying, "No one's talking about Addison Rae switching up ethnicities on us," or "Addison Rae blackfishing. You could at least address it." That's the thing. Addison Rae has kept her silence on the issue and only resorted to deleting the Snapchat video. I mean, there's nothing wrong if you want to be tan, but this looks like she was blackfishing, again, for the attention and money. So that's it. Those are the instances that prove Addison Rae should have been canceled. But to be perfectly honest, a lot of people have been through similar moments of racism like this too. Some people just don't know what they're doing. Ignorance is not an excuse for committing such grave offenses, not just to black people, but practically anyone who is a person of color. Racism sadly still exists in the modern times, but the fact is we don't have to accept it as it is. We can fight it by understanding the context and the reason behind the movement. And that's not to say that only white people are racist too. Each one of us has a duty to the rest of the world to learn from each other and figure out how to respect one another to promote peace and love in the world. We all know that Addison's not perfect, but she does have a lot of attention and social media presence that she needs to be more careful with how she presents herself and posts online. Addison has had some incredible success at such a young age, and is obviously still learning a lot about this. For most influencers, this is why they need managers and content checkers to ensure that whatever the influencers post isn't going to destroy his or her brand and name. Anyway, thanks for watching the video. But before that, a simple reminder on how to enter our brand new giveaway. We're giving away either an iPhone X Max, the new iPad mini, or a MacBook Pro. It's all your choice, but be sure to leave a like, comment the keyword, subscribe, and turn on notifications to enter the giveaway. It's really that simple.